The arena was drowning in noise as Adrien Broner stepped out of the tunnel like a ghost returning from exile, his eyes cold, silent, and determined, while Bill Hutchinson walked forward with the calm defiance of a man ready to challenge a legend. The bell rang, and Broner took the center instantly, slipping punches with ease and firing counters that snapped Hutchinson's head back. Yet Hutchinson refused to retreat, pushing forward with a pressure that surprised even Broner. As rounds progressed, Broner began unleashing sharp combinations, but Hutchinson absorbed them, firing back with gritty determination. The second round turned into a pressure cooker, Hutchinson forcing Broner onto the ropes at moments, landing counters that created ripples in the crowd, making them realize this was not going to be a one-sided fight. Broner adjusted, coming out sharper in the third and fourth rounds, smashing Hutchinson with precise shots, uppercuts, and hooks that echoed through the arena. The middle rounds turned brutal as Broner's frustration grew. He targeted the body, ripped hooks to the head, walked down Hutchinson with the coldness of a predator closing in on its prey. Hutchinson's legs trembled, face swollen, breath ragged, yet he refused to go down. Broner taunted him, demanded he swing, and Hutchinson did, and Broner punished him for every mistake. The crowd felt the tension, sensing the fight nearing its breaking point. As the late rounds began, Broner sharpened his attacks, landing thunderous shots that sent Hutchinson into the ropes. And though Hutchinson fought back with every remaining ounce of strength, the end was inevitable. Broner launched a devastating final combination: hook, uppercut, right hand, and the referee stepped in, waving the fight off. Broner raised his hands in victory, reborn in the spotlight, breathing heavily but victorious. Round 2 erupted like a time bomb. Hutchinson moved forward faster, bolder, ready to drown Broner in pressure. He cut the ring early, forcing Broner toward the ropes, firing combinations that weren't perfect. But they were persistent enough to bother Broner. The crowd gasped when Hutchinson landed a clean left hook that snapped Broner's head. Broner smiled, nodded, but everyone saw the surprise flicker in his eyes. Hutchinson wasn't scared. Hutchinson wasn't slowing down. Hutchinson came to fight. Broner adjusted quickly. He always does. He tightened his guard, started walking Hutchinson down, digging shots to the body, like he was trying to take the soul out of him punch by punch. Each body shot echoed across the arena. Still, Hutchinson didn't back off. He threw himself into the fire, absorbing punishment, but touching Broner enough to make every second dangerous. Broner's corner shouted, "Stay sharp," because even they sensed it. One wrong move, and Hutchinson could flip the script. Midway through the round, Broner unleashed a three-punch combination: left hook, right cross, uppercut, snapping Hutchinson's head in 3 different directions. The arena roared. For a moment, Hutchinson stumbled, but he didn't fall. Instead, he bit down on his mouthpiece and charged at Broner again like a man refusing to bow to destiny. This was no longer a comeback fight. This was survival. This was ego against will, fame against hunger. And as the round ended with both fighters throwing after the bell, the crowd realized this fight was becoming something unforgettable. By round 4, Hutchinson's face was swelling, his breathing heavy, but his resolve unshakable. Broner, however, was fully awake now, sharper, meaner, focused. He controlled the distance, letting combinations fly with perfect timing, punishing Hutchinson for every forward step. But Hutchinson kept coming, a zombie, a machine, a man who refused to accept reality. Broner hammered the body. Hutchinson winced, but stayed upright. Broner smashed an uppercut that lifted Hutchinson's head like a puppet being yanked by a string. But again, Hutchinson refused to fall. Every second became a question. How is he still standing? Broner's frustration showed. He taunted Hutchinson. "Come on, hit me." Hutchinson answered with wild but dangerous hooks that forced Broner to stay disciplined. Sweat, blood, and adrenaline poured into every exchange. This round felt like a war with no general. Just two men willing to destroy themselves before giving ground. Broner's accuracy was slicing Hutchinson's defenses apart, but Hutchinson's heart was stitching them back together again. And the crowd, the crowd, was losing control. They could feel a knockout brewing, but they couldn't tell which man was closer to landing it. By the end of the round, Hutchinson was barely standing, but Broner wasn't celebrating. He was calculating. He knew he was wearing his opponent down, but he also knew a desperate man is the most dangerous kind. Rounds 6 and 7 were pure brutality. Broner smelled blood, moving with a predator's confidence. Hutchinson, he was running on instinct alone, but still fighting like a man possessed. Broner cornered him, landing huge shots that shook the ring, the kind of punches that end careers. But Hutchinson's refusal to fall made the fight almost mythical. Broner blasted him with combinations, hooks cutting across the jaw, uppercuts ripping through the guard. Hutchinson's legs trembled, his vision blurred, but he kept his hands up, kept his chin tucked, kept swinging back, even if blindly. The referee watched closely, ready to jump in. Then Broner unleashed a monstrous right hand that froze Hutchinson in place. The arena gasped. Hutchinson swayed, but still, impossibly, didn't go down. Broner's expression said everything. What do I have to do to break this man? It was a test of will against will, and Hutchinson refused to surrender. But Broner knew the end was near. He stepped in with surgical patience, waiting, analyzing, stalking, and when he found his opening, he exploded. Left hook, right cross, uppercut. Hutchinson bent, staggered, tried to clinch, his legs fading beneath him. The ref hovered like a shadow, moments away from stopping the carnage. Broner dug deep, launching a final, vicious barrage that sent Hutchinson stumbling into the ropes, the signal the referee needed. The referee jumped in, waving the fight off as Hutchinson crumpled against the ropes, still conscious but unable to continue. The arena erupted, some cheering Broner's victory, some applauding Hutchinson's unbelievable heart, all acknowledging they had just witnessed a war. Broner lifted his gloves, chest heaving, sweat dripping, his face reflecting relief more than celebration. This wasn't just a win, it was survival. It was a reminder. It was a message. Adrien Broner is not finished yet. Hutchinson, battered and exhausted, refused medical help at first, insisting on standing on his own feet. The crowd rose in respect, chanting his name. He had lost, but walked out a warrior. Broner, seeing this, walked over, lifted Hutchinson's arm, and pointed at him with a nod of respect that said, "This man was harder than anyone expected." This was not the comeback Broner planned. It was harder, darker, more painful. But it was real. It was earned. The cameras zoomed in as Broner spoke. "I needed this. He made me work for every second." And the crowd knew it was true. Hutchinson pushed him, tested him, forced him to dig deep in ways fans hadn't seen in years. The final image, Broner standing in the center of the ring, arms raised, and Hutchinson standing too, bruised but unbroken, refusing to let the night define him as anything but a warrior. The fight was over. But the story? This one would echo for a long, long time.